Brought to you by Penguin. There'll Be Blue Skies by Ellie Dean. Read by Annie Aldington.
Chapter 1. October 1939. The threat of war had been the talk of the East End, and although Sally Turner had little idea of what it would really mean, she'd heard enough of the old men's tales to know it would probably be the most frightening thing she could ever experience. After the rumours and fears had been confirmed in Chamberlain's declaration, she could see the changes in the narrow streets and alleyways of Bow, for many of the children had already been sent to the countryside. Now it was her turn to leave with her little brother, and the thought of being taken far from the sights, sounds and smells of the only place she knew was terrifying. She carefully placed the birthday card on top of their clothes, closed the battered suitcase, and secured it with one of her father's old belts. It was the only card she'd received, and as it had come from her father, it was extra special, and not something to be left behind. Harold Turner was already at sea when war was declared, and she had no idea where he was. But he'd remembered she'd turned 16 a month ago, and it made her adore him even more. Her mother, Florrie, had forgotten, as usual. "Where's Mum?" Ernie was sitting on the end of the sagging couch, which pulled out as a bed. He and Sally slept there every night, unless Florrie was entertaining. Then they went downstairs to Maisie Kemp's. "I want Mum." Florrie hadn't come home last night, and Sally could have done with knowing where she'd got to, but she had her suspicions. The pubs, clubs and streets in the East End were heaving with servicemen looking for a bit of fun, and Florrie liked a good time. "She's probably gone off to work early," she said calmly. "Mum never goes to work early," he muttered. Sally wasn't willing to get into an argument over their mother's whereabouts. Ernie was only 6. "There's a war on," she said instead. "Everyone's got to do their bit, including Mum." Ernie's clear brown eyes regarded her steadily. "Old Mother Kemp says Mum's doing her bit all right, and that Dad wouldn't like it. What did she mean by that, Sal?" Maisie Kemp should learn to keep her trap shut around Ernie, thought Sally. "I dunno, love. Now sit still and let me sort you out, or we'll never be on time." She tucked her fair curls behind her ears and picked up the special boot which she eased carefully over Ernie's misshapen foot. Once the laces were tied, she began to buckle the leather straps round his twisted, withered leg. The polio had struck just before Ernie's 2nd birthday, and it had left him with a crippled leg and weakened muscles. But despite his disability, Ernie was like any other 6-year-old, full of cheeky mischief and far too many questions. "Do we have to go, Sal?" She made sure the calipers weren't too tight and patted the bony knee that jutted from beneath the hem of his short trousers. "The Prime Minister says we have to get out of London because it ain't safe. All your mates are going, and you don't want to be left out, do you?" Ernie shrugged and pulled a face. "Why can't Mum come with me?" "Because she can't. Now where did you put your school cap?" He pulled it out of his pocket and rammed it on his head before tugging on his blazer. "Will I have to go to school? Billy Warner says there ain't no school in the country, just cows and sheep and lots of poo." He giggled. Sally giggled too and gave her little brother a hug. "We'll have to just wait and see, won't we?" She made him a sandwich with the last of the bread and dripping. "Eat that while I tidy up. Then we must be going." It didn't take long to strip the bedding off the couch, finish the washing up, and collect the last few things to take with them. Their home consisted of 2 rooms on the top floor of a house, which was in a sooty red brick terrace, overshadowed by the gasworks and Solomon's clothing factory, where she'd worked for the past 2 years alongside her mother. Florrie had the only bedroom. The sitting room, where Sally and Ernie slept, doubled up as a kitchen, with sink, gas ring and cupboards at one end. There was no bathroom. Water had to be fetched from the pump at the end of the street, and the outside lav was shared with 4 other families.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?